of the second Redemption bracket set. We are going to be seeing that double slosher coming out, as well as an end zap on a Salt and Pepper, as well as me on that ink brush. So that leaves Siren on the end zap. Meanwhile, on the side of Fiction, we're going to be seeing the Neo Splash-O-Matic, as well as a K-Shot, an end zap for them as well, and that custom Jet Sculpture. So we are going to be seeing Array.
And not to mention, I just said it, if you put the heavy on the bunker, it's almost impossible to stop them. And the team is just watching the flank, watching the map constantly for the flank, which I think they might have jumped back because they are not engaging anymore.
Yeah, might have needed a little bit of time to get more organized, but it's also let Salt and Pepper start getting their stuff together.
Bane passes the inkjet, will go for Soren, and then the checkpoint is not broken just yet.
Fiction trying to work their way back into this. They are going to displace a few of the members of Salt and Pepper, and they do take out that remix, so that's going to give them a lot more space to work with. Fiction pushing it. Rainmaker, or not Rainmaker. Tower is back in the center of the map, and now Fiction starting a push of their own if they decide to continue this.
No special apart from the baller being used on a brush to basically get control of the left side. With one jumping out, that seems the very smart, safe choice to do. But maybe could have broken the checkpoint, maybe.
It's one where it looks like not everyone was quite on the same page there. So Salt and Pepper going to take back control of the tower and continue to push it forward. They find 2 down. The Heavy Splatling remix does go down, so they lose a little bit of that backline support. But the Nautilus working to give them a little bit more support in their own right. As a matter of fact, the Nautilus is actually pushed up super far forward. Soren just being a nuisance for Fiction. Chino going to go ahead and use this array to try and take out any players trying to get back on the tower. And they will find Knee. The Ink Brush goes down, just down to the end zap, and I believe that the end zap backed off.
It's a little bit interesting to see in terms of like what Fiction is trying to do in order to get the upper hand against Salt and Pepper. Because so far I feel that a Salt and Pepper is trying to get sneaky positions and specific, not sharking, like you see right here. Like Bane misses the shot on the brush, disengages because of the baller, and now have to avoid 3 splashes before popping Bomb Rush. Yeah, Fiction cannot get the proper setup in order to start pushing.
Yeah, that Bomb Rush actually not going to find that much outside of just a little bit of extra positioning, and now Payne's in a bad position of their own. Looking for a pick on these Splatlings right there. The Ray's going to finish one off. And Fiction, just like that, has the player count advantage and are going to probably get past this first checkpoint. Fiction continuing to push up. Payne pops a Bomb Rush. They'll have just to support them relatively soon. Ray on its way as well. But actually, the K-Shot's going to go down. The missile's going to be delayed even more. Enzap falls as well. And now Chino's just left all by themselves. They're going to need to back off.
The brush going for the doesn't get to live for that long. Soren gets the fall off from the Nautilus over the Inkjet. Gets very important pick because that means no Stingray, and that is even more time for a Salt and Pepper to push and even get a KO.
Yeah, and now they're going to have that Booyah Bomb to work with. I believe the baller was already popped by Knee on that Ink Brush. And Soren pushing up. Nautilus continuing to put pressure on the opponents. They're trying to fight their way out of their bunker, but Fiction, not any answers currently. Tense Missile's going to be popped, trying to force them away, but going to be traded out with that Ink Brush. Ray available. I think it's going to get popped right then. So the tower going to fall. 2 players go down on the side of Salt and Pepper as opposed to the one for Fiction. A 3rd player falls as well. Fiction manages to avoid the KO, but they need a push of their own in this last minute of play.
I like to point out Soren with the Inkjet. You could have seen when Soren went from being a little bit more aggressive with its weapon to actually just spinning for the special. And unfortunately, Soren misses 2 ink shots direct, and one of them was because of the weird pedestal of the tower. Because like we also want to see hype moments, especially with the Inkjet. It's still one of the favorite weapons of the community.
That's definitely a weapon that when it gets a triple kill or something, it's always fun to see. And I'm sure Tim thinks that a kill falling into their lap right there is also really fun to see. So he's going to continue to push with the rest of his team towards the center of the map right now as Fiction looks to mount a comeback in these last 10 seconds. The Nautilus making life difficult. Nick's going to fall. Soren and the Inkbrush are going to find another pick, and the Booyah Bomb going to seal it out once and for all. Assault and Pepper take game 1.
I find it hard to say what could have gone for Fiction in order for them to win. Definitely having, because once the game started, you look at the bunker and you see that there's 2 players on the far left. You will try to pressure them or at least throw a bomb or just something to help anyone that is underneath you. But the problem is that nobody checked their bunker, and the Heavy managed to get the first pick of the game. Like, on Rainmaker, that happens a lot if you're playing Heavy. You're trying to get for the first pick, always going from bunker. Otherwise, you're trying to get the pop at least. That helps extremely. But if the game is just stalling, if you give opportunity for the Heavy to leave their bunker and just walk crates, you're probably gonna not have a good time. Second, the strategy for the Nautilus, pushing left side until they broke second checkpoint. You saw this, the Inkjet was just on the same spot twice, because like that's where it shines so much. You also have the opportunity to hide your place of landing the Inkjet behind a small wall of glass, which what Assault and Pepper did as well. So Assault and Pepper basically played this game by the book, and the only time that the Fiction managed to get a second push starting, the C-Jet was having to deal with a flank from the right side, which was engaged the Enza, and the Heavy almost gets a pick on Chino. So honestly, I think just Assault and Pepper has a better setup in terms of like what to do more than Fiction. That's why Assault and Pepper is outshining them on this match.
Yeah, and just one other thing to note as we head into game 2, which is going to be Clam Blitz on Snapper. Soren actually plays with Fiction a fair amount. Nick, in his bio that we've been given, also brought up that Fiction plays a lot with Roundy, who's on Cornfield Yakuza, but also Soren, who's playing against him right now. Soren and the rest of Assault and Pepper going to stick with I think it's the exact same composition, actually.
Flings is new.
And
the bamboo.
on the side of Fiction, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Fiction changing it up a little bit. They need some sort of answer, and it looks like they might have found an early version of that answer as Salt and Pepper goes 2 players down. Soren trying to hold off the assault on their basket right now.
Inkjet battle!
But the Flings are going to interfere. The third party kill going to come in and smash, along with the rest of her team, looking to push forward. She has 2 clams needed for a power. There it is, but runs right into the barrel of the Heavy Splatling Remix, and the power clam falls into the water.
Oh, that's a shame. That's unfortunate. Team was actually paying so much attention to that it was just waiting for someone to do something like that. The situation was just screaming, if you spam it, you're not going to get it. If you wait, you're going to get it.
Yeah, but that's a full wipe on the side of Assault and Pepper and Fiction. Plenty of opportunity. Payne's going to start it off with the power clam. Me with the ink brush is not exactly the weapon that you want to start off this defense. And Fiction going to load up the basket with more clams. Nick's found a few more, and he's going to push it all the way down to 23 before falling. Siren going to go ahead and find another pick. Tim and the other Splatling going to go down as well. It's a 2-on-2 right now. The basket does go back up, but Fiction still with a heavy player count advantage, and Assault and Pepper needs it to find a way back into this match.
It seems that when I mentioned that the comp they had was slow, maybe it's outshining a little bit because we have the Flings, you have the Junior, and even the Bamboo can be considered a very fast weapon. So it's a matter of like, if you're gonna close any opportunities for Assault and Pepper, you need to get them individually. That's what happened at the first push with like just getting specific moments of time. And that's it. The missiles are pushing them back mostly because of that strategy in mind.
Yeah, Fiction going to push Assault and Pepper all the way back. Tim looked like he had an opportunity to push a ways into Fiction's side of the map, but unable to find it just because of how well Fiction defended that one. So now Payne and Me might square off right here. 2 power clams at the ready for Assault and Pepper, and it looks like they have the specials needed to coordinate a push. But the Baller is going to have to drop the power climb if they choose to use it to get right under the basket.
Agree. Bamboo almost getting the 99. Thank goodness Land doesn't give you the splat just yet. But Soren trying to get the sneaky, gets 4 shots of the Inkjet and eliminates one player from Fiction.
Yeah, and also got the armor off of another. Fiction starting to lose even more players 2-on-2 right now. Siren not going to choose to push in just yet. Instead, he's going to save that power clam. And they're going to push in together. And he doesn't have the baller anymore either. No specials that close to being ready for Salt and Pepper. But they do have those 2 power clams to work with. Meanwhile, Fiction has a substantial lead, and they can just play as defensively as they like. Flingza has their special at the ready if they can get away.
But ends up gets picked by behind for some reason. It seems the Bamboo shows up.
Yeah, just like that, it's right back down to me and Soren. Nick getting a little bit over-aggressive, and he'll go down. Still one more player on the side of Fiction in the area, and they'll jump out just to prevent any more losses of territory or clams, potentially. But Salt and Pepper still trying to find that way in. I don't think they just got a power clam, but I don't think they have another one yet. And Siren under heavy fire from this Inkjet and Toxic Mist combo. Just a very good combo that, again, you don't always see all that often.
That is true. The Neo Splash usually is the better, not better, I would just say the unfortunate jump out. But yeah, Neo Splash is usually picked over the vanilla variation, mostly because of the burst bomb and just the suction bomb rush. You also have Toxic Mist, which is a niche sub-weapon compared to its cousin, the Disruptor in Splatoon 1. So it kind of makes sense why the Neo version is more played than the first one.
Yeah, Siren looking to push in with this N-Zap and this power clam, trying to find a way in, and that pick might do it. Siren has the flank opportunity if they want to, instead of just going to throw a bomb to keep it away and follow Soren as they push back. Siren gets the clam off, but unfortunately won't be able to stay alive for much longer. Smash and Chino trying to hold Salt and Pepper out of their base. Chino actually going to go down. Salt and Pepper have a fair amount of clams to work with, but they'll need to get a couple more. And just like that, it's all up to Siren. Ways away from the basket, need to find something in time, and as they go down, they won't be able to. Fiction ties the setup.
Fiction ties the game by doing an amazing push at the beginning of the match. The biggest push I've ever seen in a clamless match, apart from us knockouts on Piranha Pits, because I was on the edge of my seat watching this match. I was thinking that every time Fiction would go at least 2-player advantage, 2-player disadvantage, they would have an opening for a Salt and Pepper to push. If they managed to put all the clams at one point, even the balls that they had formed, they could have actually just barely gotten the lead. But I think just going down at the opening of the basket kind of already settled the fate for Salt and Pepper and giving the win for Fiction.
It was one where it felt like Salt and Pepper felt just a little bit rushed in that instance. Like they needed to make the most of this opportunity. And if you're feeling rushed like that, a lot of times it's just that much easier to make mistakes and go 3 players down in a crucial situation.
I think the problem mostly was just that they didn't have enough clams. I was trying to watch for the spam of clams because like they had passed the 50 points mark. Like final result was 60-77. So they managed to put more than 50 points in just one push as well. It was just a matter that the difference of clams, and not to mention that Fiction wiped Salt and Pepper for them to score as many clams. Salt and Pepper didn't wipe. And that means that it just shows how Fiction and both Salt and Pepper know how to work around the teammates' respawn, the enemy's respawn time, which is crucial if you are being most people that play frontliners, they don't usually pay attention to all the details happening in the match. So that's why, no, I'm not saying that in a bad way, because
No, I'm just saying, I'm just laughing because
okay.
you have a very different perspective, like playing the backline weapon.
Yes, that is true. So I usually do short calls for people, because I can see all the map, and like saying, okay, I need you here because your position is going to be crucial. But the problem is that when you're sharking on the wall, you just see the wall, you don't see the map, you don't see who's respawning above you.
That's just one of those where knowledge of the map is a valuable asset to have for any team.
Always.
Speaking of map knowledge, I'm sure most of us know this one. We're going to Rainmaker on Blackbelly Skate Park.
We're going for the map. The C-Jet is spammed faster than a junior with armor.
Yeah, you know something's up with Tim's off the heavy remix. Instead, he's going to be switching to that C-Jet. Fiction also bringing out a C-Jet of their own, and right out the gate, 10 seconds into the match, we have our first array. It's actually going to help take out the splashdown coming out from Salt and Pepper. So Fiction, early player advantage. Going to be seeing a different ink brush, just the vanilla ink brush coming out from me on the side of Salt and Pepper.
Oh no, Chino goes down.
Yeah. It's just one where it's so hard to maneuver on this map if you find yourself in an unfortunate position.
Yeah, you take so slow curves when you're going up hills because they are not 90 degrees. They're literally curvy.
They're curved.
Yeah, and you get a little bit of speed enough to just predict your movement when you're using Stingray.
Yeah, the worst part for me is I play CDS. So since I have like very long, very quick rolls, I'm used to them always behaving a certain way. But for a map like Blackbelly, it's just unable. Gino actually going to trade out that Stingray as they go down to knee on the brush right there. So the Salt and Pepper still has a little bit of an advantage right there. But Fiction trying to hold off. Siren survives for a lot longer than I think anyone thought she should have. But
I'm
Fiction,
surprised the junior didn't get the pick.
yeah. But Fiction able to find the Rainmaker in the end. Only a 71 to 97 lead for Salt and Pepper right now. It's very doable for Fiction. Counter Ray coming out on Stim. It's just insanely long range battle of the shiny victory beams.
I'm just trying to keep track of all the Stingrays that are being used, and so far, they're happening almost every second. Like, we already had a 5 race in 2 minutes in, and just because none of the teams actually have a good lead, none of the C-Jets is spamming considerably amount of race in order to actually just show how this weapon needs a little bit of a nerf. I'm sorry, C-Jet mains, you heard of me.
Yeah, Salt and Pepper actually going to push up as Smash is using her missiles. So let's sneak in a few more points. 50 to 80 is the current score. Fiction still in it. It is Blackbelly. No lead is really, truly safe on this map, except for a knockout, as the saying goes. Just like that, Salt and Pepper go down to Soren going to respawn on that Nautilus. And they're going to be invaluable for this upcoming defense. Fiction actually losing their Splash player along with Soren, just like I said, providing a little bit more on that defensive side, finding another pick. And Fiction is now down 3 players. It's just down to their Neo Splash and Matic, and Soren is pushing up. They're hungry for more kills right now.
Oh yeah, here comes the Inkjet, trying to get the pick, trying to get the sneaky percentage just below them. But unfortunately, just hitting more of the map than the players.
Yeah, Soren's actually going to find Chino, though. So that's the C-Jet down. It's all up to the K-Shot. K-Shot able to find the Rainmaker. That'll give them a little bit more time. But they have it on that block. Tim's going to take it and jump over, looking for the pick. But they're stuck. He's stuck in enemy ink, and he's unable to get to the podium. So Fiction dodging a bullet right there. Chino going to find Soren using that burst bomb. And now it's all up to Neve to hold off Fiction for just a little bit longer.
I don't want to point fingers, but like, I think all of this lead happened because Chino was rushed by the Nautilus, and just the aggression of the Nautilus reduced the presence of a Fiction, and that caused them to at least take the Rainmaker to that small box that we saw Team picking up the Rainmaker and jumping. And that is very unfortunate for Fiction.
Yeah, Tim actually just being very aware of the other team's specials. You see that Stingray, that they've been having Stingray battles all game. And Tim, it looked like he wanted to wait for the opposing Ray, but instead he opts to use it preemptively, gets the kill on the Rainmaker, and then immediately runs away instead of trying to find anything else, knowing full well that that other Stingray is going to come after him.
I think Chino's like trying to counter the Stingray from a Salt and Pepper. That was the intention, because you now basically have just amount of turf to get one more Ray from both sides. 30 seconds is like not gonna be enough time to get at least a second unless you really try hard.
Yeah, it actually, both teams are going to have their rays up right now. If they use them immediately, there might be just a little bit more time with how much special charge up they're going to have on those things. Fiction actually having all 4 of their specials, it seems like they're going to just prepare for one final push. Pain holding on to their special just a little bit. Sharking looking for a pick on Neeb, not going to find it, however. As she manages to get away in time. So Pain using the Suction Bomb Rush to take a little bit more turf, but here comes the GG Ray. Nick trying to run away. It actually, I think they got the Stingray got shut down. So Ink Armor and the Inkjet combo going to be coming out as Nick tries to push forward. 3 players left alive on Assault and Pepper, but 2 go down on the side of Fiction.
Go Nick!
Nick needs
Go
to stay
Nick!
alive. We're running out of time under heavy fire. And I'm not sure who gets the kill in the end, but regardless, Assault and Pepper is going to take game 3.
That was. Now I'm gonna be kind of a hypocrite, but like I would say back the C-Jet needing a nerf. The K-Shot needs a nerf. 8 missiles without even spamming. There's no special charge on that weapon. So that's also a very, like, missiles have become such a very powerful special in the game that just spamming missiles can do a lot of things. But what I mean with that at the end, the MVP player was the Nautilus. Taking the opportunity to take down the back line and then just pushing in and being a nonsense at the enemy spawn with the Inkjet. Like two splats in less than 30 seconds while trying to take down the Inkjet and everyone just rushing in the Rainmaker from Assault and Pepper. That was the winning push.
Yeah, Soren and Nee both did a great job that time of disrupting that opposing C-Jet. We saw Nee a couple of different times rushing in to try and take out a Stingray with her Ink Brush. And of course, Soren coming up with a very pivotal kill onto Chino on the Stingray, as they were able to take out one of the only major league defensive weapons that Fiction had at that point in time.
I completely agree. And I did not play Game 4 on my my bracket, so Zones on Humpback. You can take it as you wish, because if I win all matches or lose all matches, I don't play Game 4 anyway.
That is true, but I was able to see your set.
That's true.
As was everybody else who watched our silver pools.
That's true. Everyone here can watch all the games. All I ask you to do is just wear a mask and keep a reasonable amount of distance. And that's basically what's going to be. Reasonable distance from the zone on Humpback Zones. The paradise of Booyah Bombs.
Yeah, Tim probably going to take this opportunity to switch back to the heavy remix, carrying that Booyah Bomb, playing his favorite weapon. Nick going to stay on this Splattershot Jr., pops Ink Armor right out the gate. Not even 10 seconds go by. Fiction bringing on a Vanilla Slosher as well as, I believe that's a foil thing? Or is that the...
That's the one with missiles and suction bomb. The Vanilla is the one that has wall and bomb rush.
So yeah, the foil flings are going to come out alongside the Neo Splashmatics. Meanwhile, on the side of Salt and Pepper, they're mostly sticking with what they know. The only major change is Tim going back to that custom, switching off the custom Jet Sculpture and going for the Heavy Splash Shot remake. And Soren switching to a
L3.
Yeah,
Dolphin.
the L3D.
D stands for Dolphin, if anyone's asking in the chat.
Do not let anyone tell you differently.
Yes.
They will try. Do not let anyone tell you differently.
With control of the zone on the side of Fiction, all teams already have pretty good amount of specials. Now it's 3-3. The Booyah Bomb and the armor and the missiles will do a lot of There are 4 specials already from the side of Assault and Pepper. They will be able to take zone or not. That's the debatable part. All specials also from Fiction have been deployed, and the zone is just being applied a penalty, and Assault and Pepper come out victorious.
Now the missiles not not misplaced just because of where the opposing players were. They weren't going to be able to do much for the zone. And the remaining specials just unable to make the impact that I'm sure Fiction were hoping they wanted. But they are going to drive Assault and Pepper back a ways, and Fiction able to recap the zone. Suction Bomb Rush coming out, and Siren's just going to jump away, preserving her armor.
It's kind of interesting now. With 2 minutes down, the bomb, Chino gets splattered by the random bomb over there. It's just that, like, I feel that at the end of the day, even though they have less range, they just seem to be able to take control of the zone much faster than Assault and Pepper. and I don't know how to explain why this comp works. It's just, it seems to just work, and the Fiction is just getting everyone. Like, it seems to be back to back.
Yeah.
Salt and Pepper wins one match, Fiction wins the next one. Salt and Pepper wins the next one, and now Fiction seems to be the one that's going to win this one, given that it's just, I think it's just the bucket. Like, the bucket and the roller are very strong on this map.
Yeah, I definitely think opting for the Slosher and the Flings is going to make a difference. Pain on a massive shark right there, going to only find Soren, but that's going to be enough to make a significant difference. And they still have their suction bomber remaining. Knee going to be in a lot of trouble right there, popping the ball. The ball are getting popped by the suction bombs. And now it's all up to Soren on this L3D. Not going to be able to find the zone.
Oh,
but does neutralize it.
it.
Just a good heads-up play, but unfortunately nobody is there to follow up on their push. And we're going to game 5.
We're going for game 5. And the Pain sharking underneath and nobody being able to catch that after the L3 goes down was very well played. Knee, this time, don't worry, you got 5 ballers and you managed to capture zone with 4 of them. And the suction bomb rush also shredding that baller as if it were just dust in the wind. Like, I cannot blow on the mic, but you get the idea.
It's a lot easier to blow on the mic than you might think.
Yeah, but people that listen to us are not going to like it.
That is probably very true. As someone who had to commentate outside a few different times, the wind is just not an appealing sound to have playing over your speakers at home.
That is true.
So we go to game 5. Tower control on Starfish main stage.
Now, this is actually interesting, given that it's TC again, so Salt and Pepper has the advantage. And the map itself has some lots of similarities with Manta, but more that you can survive right in the tower than if you were trying to defend it. Because on Manta, we have 3 ways you can stop the tower on second checkpoint. From bunker, from your left, and from in front of you. On Starfish, first checkpoint is only reachable if someone flanked you from the back, like all the way, which Knee as a brush can do, or you have enough range to shoot from snipe or the crates on top left side of the map. And second checkpoint to third checkpoint, no actually no, I'm confusing the checkpoints. And the first and second is basically you can still get also flanked all the way from back of the stage if you don't pay attention to who's on the right side. So it is easier to ride the tower than Manta Maria, but maybe this time Fiction will also be able to take it back and win on the third game.
Yeah, and you brought up Knee on that brush. I do think that this is going to be a good map for her to bounce back on. Definitely a map where flanking is a very real possibility. And Salt and Pepper try and take advantage of it. Meanwhile, on the side of Fiction, another comp change coming out. We're going to be seeing the K-Machine coming out as well as the K-Shot and the Neo Slush. So we're going to be seeing a lot of aggression on the side of Fiction. Apparently it's not paying off all too well. 1 down on the side, but they do manage to equalize it, and they take the tower right back. Do have a very small lead, looking to extend on it. The C-Jet going down will find a little bit of help there. I didn't even realize that Fiction had switched back to, or Salt and Pepper had switched back to that C-Jet instead of letting Tim play the Heavy Splatoon remix.
Honestly, I think Team was also having the same idea. It was just because it's TC on a map that not every place. Oh, nice pick on Nick with the Inkjet. The picks you can get as a Splatling are very hard on specific points if you're not riding tower on specific points. So like, you can play remix, that's fair, but the Ray is still more of a joker card, like as in like you can use it on many more places.
Yeah, and I definitely think in some cases we've seen that as that Fiction like to play up close and personal against this comp, which sometimes can backfire on them. But against a heavy Splatling remix on a stage like this, it could be a problem. Knee trying to find a pick with that baller, but she won't be able to, and instead will go down to Chino, who is immediately traded back by Siren as she finds a pick of their own. And just like that, Salt and Pepper take the lead. 3 down on the side of Fiction. This could be Salt and Pepper's opportunity to just close it out. Suction Bomb going to come onto the tower and find Knee somehow. I didn't think that would hit. Siren staying alive on the tower. 3v3 right now. Fiction losing another player. Their K-Machine's down. Smash looking for some sort of flank. Will she be able to find it? She finds one on Tim. Soren is the last player in an active position. Payne goes down to the Inkjet. And just like that, Siren is right back on the tower. Tim jumping back in. Me still in a bad position. And Tim, I believe, actually went down. So Siren backing away. But Assault and Pepper have taken a huge lead.
2 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, and I think the one that was screaming that we could hear was the Nautilus. Because the excitement they were having with so many important picks that were just enabling the Assault and Pepper to keep pushing, pushing, and pushing, and pushing was just too much for Soren to contain, and Soren was just too happy to get them.
I don't even know if it was Soren themselves that was
Screaming?
I think that might have been just the crowd getting very hyped.
It could be. It was the same person.
Yeah, Soren actually in a bad position again, and this time won't be able to replicate their success. Chino on the Tenz's washing machine going to find it. Also looking for another pick, and I believe Knee's going down off of that as well. Nick holding onto this tower. They'll continue to push forward. Only Soren left alive for Salt and Pepper right now, and Fiction trying to make their counter push a reality. And I believe they're going to get the lead off this. They get past checkpoint 2 just barely.
Nice
Chino with the
splashdown.
splashdown going to put more ink on that tower. Smash sees Knee on the flank, and they're going to engage. Missiles coming out. Inkjet not going to be, or Inkbrush not going to be able to find anything. And it looks like Smash is just going to back away. So Fiction gives up the tower, but gets the lead in the process.
I would say that what happened with Fiction just now, unfortunately the camera didn't pick all the splats, which is unfortunate because we saw Soren getting the picks on their side. But on this, I would say the importance Fiction is doing now with 1 minute remaining. They have most control, and Smash is just stuck on the left side, trying to keep the paint and wait for the checkpoint on the left. Everyone from Assault and Pepper is watching the right side because they saw the K shot over there.
Soren starting off this wave of specials, trying to pop the Inkjet, but Payne finding the pick on the Inkjet in the process. They'll get another. Payne goes for a third, they'll get it. And just like that, Fiction have control of the tower again. They'll have control of mid. Assault and Pepper struggling to find an answer. 30 seconds remaining, and now Payne has their suction bomb rush as well. They can lock Assault and Pepper out if they play this right.
The Ray being deployed too early, in my opinion, right here.
Now the Ray coming out, but not going to be able to find all that much. Salt and Pepper do take the tower, but now the long, arduous process of pushing it all the way into their opponent's base begins. Soren finds a pick on Chino. There goes the K-Machine down.
It was actually splashdown cancel.
Yeah, that would make sense. Soren on this Inkjet. They've come up clutch once before with it. They need to do it again. And Tim going down on the C-Jet will give Fiction the time they need. They take it 3-2 and win this redemption bracket set.
Every time Soren would pop the Inkjet, Soren was aiming Inkjet at a specific place. Fiction was waiting for that, and then someone else would distract the Inkjet. They adapt themselves so much from when they lost second check or almost lost second checkpoint to legit being able to cancel Soren entirely on the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the match. That was the match where you saw a legit comeback with not only a sheer luck, but a moment where the team didn't screw up. As RuPaul would say, I cannot say it on stream, don't F up.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Fiction looking to Fiction it up a little bit more in the redemption bracket. They get a much-needed win to better their chances of making it into this gold bracket. So we look back at some of the highlights. We see Fiction really starting to come in clutch right there. Payne finding that double kill, followed up with another one to make it a triple. And that is a pick that really just sealed the deal for Fiction.
Yeah, that was like that. Also, not to mention, there was a prediction. Like you predicted the brush would fall back from just going around that. Is that a music sound box? And that was basically controlling for Fiction and the last minutes of the game. And with that, we're going for a break, and we'll be seeing the last set of Redemption with the 6 teams that are going to be joining on top 16 tomorrow. No, we're
Yeah,
still
top
no,
16 is
top 16
today.
is still today, but top 8 is tomorrow, and it's a double elimination process. So even if you go to losers bracket, it's still a top 8. It's 4 people from winners and 4 people from losers.
Well, either way,
See you
we'll
soon.
let you catch your breath.